Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Recently, I described an approach to uncertainty that's worked well with my clients. Its acronym is RAD: Resolve, Accept, Distract. Do what you can to resolve the problem, accept the uncertainty of it working, and distract yourself to something productive. Well, here, I show how RAD can be applied to 6 common fears. Note, by the way, this is self-help advice aimed at people with garden variety, subclinical fears, although it may be of some value to other people. First, let's look at approaches to the R, that is, attempting to resolve the problem. First example is in choosing a career. Take low-risk actions. For example, do time-effective career exploration. Peruse tables of contents of a career directory, such as the Occupational Outlook Handbook or my more subjective Careers for Dummies. Google search for additional information, and then just pick. Getting started on your career will likely yield more benefit than would additional rumination. Tailor and accessorize that career to suit you. For example, if you decide to be a counselor, what should you specialize in? Should you be more assertive or more of a listener? Should you focus on individuals or on groups? People of a certain demographic? Should you work at home or in an office? Self-employed or employed by others? Incorporate a personal interest. For example, I routinely play the piano for clients during a break. Get training that'll best prepare you, whether or not it's the most prestigious. Sometimes the best training is watching a master and having a master watch you. Remember that your career choice isn't a life sentence. Countless people make a career pivot, even a radical career change. So that was the first, that is choosing a career which can be a source of fear, and some low-risk ways to mitigate that fear, what I call resolve, an attempt to resolve the problem. Now let's turn to marriage. Will you be happy in marrying that person? You boost your chances if you can push aside the clouds of infatuation, fantasy, and unreasonable pressure from the clock, peers, and parents. How do you do that? By rating your partner, and maybe yourself, on a relationship report card. If you Google the term marry with a question mark and Marty Nemko and Psychology Today, you'll see I have a kind of a relationship report card. Now, some fear is to be expected. After all, in marrying, you're making what ostensibly will be a lifetime commitment in front of friends, family, the law, and maybe God. But if your fear is strong, should you consider holding off and maybe living together or even doing a trial separation? Another source of fear, of course, is public speaking. Do only moderate preparation. On an index card, list your main points, including an explanatory anecdote or statistic. Then ad lib, using that index card if needed to keep you on track. Be conversational. Doing that should make you more successful than if you scripted, let alone memorized. And if you fail, you will survive. You'll learn from it and probably get good. It feels great to have gone from scared to looking forward to your next talk, even if it's just a 2-minute presentation at a staff meeting. Another fear, of course, is phobias. The previous fears I've mentioned have some reasonable basis, but many people have less realistic fears. For example, fear of heights, of bugs, or of elevators. Sometimes, but only sometimes, asking yourself why you have that fear, the story behind the fear, can be a useful precursor to the standard approach to reducing phobias, which is called exposure therapy. How does it work? For example, if you're scared of elevators, stand next to one for a while until you've gotten a bit desensitized. Then get in the elevator, but keep the door open. When that's tolerable, close the door and go up 1 flight. You get the idea. Want to go high-tech? Today, virtual reality is used, for example, to conquer fear of heights and PTSD. Then there's fear of dying. Remind yourself that if the process of dying is too tough, you can get yourself offed, even if you have to fly to a locale where physician-assisted dying is legal. And death itself? Remind yourself that you won't be more aware of being dead than you were before you were born. That's the R, the attempt to resolve your fear. Now, the acronym RAD then is followed by the resolve, and then there's accept and distract. Well, I want to describe each of those. They applied equally to all 6 of the fears I gave you before. So with regard to the accept part of RAD, the A part, after deciding how you're going to attempt to resolve the fear, stop trying to come up with an even better approach. Usually you're better off trying to just take the next step forward. You may more easily come to accept if you conjure up the very worst case scenario. For example, you're unexpectedly diagnosed with end-stage cancer, told you have 6 months to live, and much of it's going to be in dire pain. Even that can be more successfully coped with by realizing it's a wake-up call to do all you can now. And when the pain outweighs living's benefits, you can get yourself off, and after you die, you will be no more aware of that than before you were born. Of course, chances are excellent that any failure you'll experience is going to be far less onerous. You can, perhaps with effort, move forward. And the D part, the distract part of RAD, accepting your approach and the possibility of failure is made easier by distracting yourself to something constructive, maybe implementing your plan, maybe something having nothing to do with the plan. In any event, fear, stress, anxiety, they're unavoidable, but RAD, that is resolve, accept, distract, can often help you fight fear and win. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below, share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And in any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.